The deadly gang war in Sweden's capital, Shottaz versus DP. Let's get into it, see what it's hitting for. If you're watching this on Twitch, say hi, YouTube. Alright.
Now, in today's video, we are traveling to the city of Stockholm, which is actually the capital of Sweden, and is in fact the largest urban area in all of the Nordic countries, with the city currently having a population of around 1 million, whilst the metro population is around 2.4 million people. And from an outside look in, Sweden looks like the ideal place to live, even being statistically ranked one of the safest countries in the world.
Alright, so Alright, so let's say top 10 safest countries, top 8. Switzerland number 1, Norway number 2, Sweden number 3, number 4 Austria, number 5 is Denmark, number 6 is Canada, number 7 is Finland, and number 8 is New Zealand. Alright.
However, what a lot of the people currently living in and outside of Sweden are unaware of is the fact that gang rivalries have plagued the streets of Stockholm, resulting in the gun crime statistics in Stockholm being 25 times higher than other cities.
Last year, 363 recorded shootings led to 53 deaths across Sweden, according to police. In 2022, the gun murder rate in Stockholm was 25 times higher than in London. Sweden's gangs are out to kill, and there is no shortage of guns. Alright. RIP to everybody who died. Now, I was going to say something crazy, but I'm going to say it anyway. Out of 363 recorded shootings, only 53 deaths. It sounds like a lot of bad aim going on. You know what I mean? It just seems like a lot of bad aim.
Cities like London in 2022, with some even labeling Stockholm Europe's gun murder capital, as gang members would get their hands on guns like AK-47s and use them to attack rivals. The most dangerous of these rivalries, in fact, being the Shottaz and DP or Death Patrol gang feud, which has plagued the streets of a small town inside Stockholm known as Rinkeby. This then resulting in dozens of murders, shootings, as well as kidnappings. Before I start this video, however, YouTube says only 5% of you are subscribed, so if you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe as it helps out the channel. But without further ado, sit back and enjoy this video.
Den här bilen besköts i natt i en skottlossning i Hjulsta norr om Stockholm.
273 shootings and 40 people have been killed so far. He died at the scene, emergency responders have said.
Man mår bra, jag ser, jag är i liv och ingen kan göra det jag gör, så jag kommer fortsätta så länge.
I don't know how to pronounce this name. Osman, 18, is convicted of a gang murder at a pizzeria in Rinkeby. Wow.
Now, during July 2015, a group of gang members from Rinkeby would be planning to rob a currency exchange, which was located around 23 minutes away. This robbery then took place on the 22nd of July 2015 and was somewhat successful, with the perpetrators running away with around $200,000. Now, following the robbery,
so around, they said $200,000. That's, oh, okay. So they got away with $2 million, or 2 million Swedish kronas, which translate into $200,000, which translates into around 150 pounds. Okay.
it's rumored that the older members who had committed the robbery didn't give any money to a younger member known as Masla, as well as other youngers who were a part of the 3MST gang. These youngers, in fact, were said to have planned out the entire heist. The youngers then began to demand the money from the person who had allegedly carried out the heist, this being a 19-year-old known as Izzy. Izzy denied them the money, resulting in the younger gang members getting...
I'm not gonna lie, they talking about these dudes 18, 16, and 19 robbing currency exchanges. Like these is basically they basically robbing banks at a teenage year. Like, that's
getting angry. A day later, on the 24th of July 2015, a group of these youngers lured 19-year-old Izzy out to a nearby forest, where he was shot dead by the youngers. This then resulting in the two groups of teens from Rinkeby beginning to rival it out, with Izzy's friends who had taken part in the heist, creating the Shottaz gang, whilst the group that sided with the younger members who weren't paid from the heist created the gang which later became Death Patrol. Just a day following the death of Izzy, that same teen, Masla, who had felt betrayed that he wasn't given a cut of the heist, would be sitting in in a car with his friends at a gas station when two men approached Masla, shooting several shots toward him, sadly ending in 16-year-old Masla being shot in the head and dying on the scene. A murder investigation was quickly launched, with police suspecting the brothers of Izzy to be the killers, as just under a day earlier, Izzy was gunned down, although it is believed that this was a retaliation for Izzy, who was killed just hours earlier. Following this deadly wave...
Yo, this get back is crazy. So, alright, so boom, they robbed the currency store one day. The next day, they robbed the currency store. They were supposed to do the split that night, right? The next day, what is it? The next day, they linked, bro, and said, yo, you know what I mean? Come chill with us, yada, yada, yada. They took bro into the forest, shot bro. The following day after they killed bro, they chilling, they in the V, they go to the gas station or petrol station, whatever they call it. They getting, you know what I mean? They filling up the car. You know what I mean? They probably went to the store, grabbed some snacks, a couple, you know what I mean, drinks or whatever. Boom. Bro sitting in the car. Two people pull up about the side of him. Shots fired. Yo, the get back is crazy.
Violence in Rinkeby, prominent gang members who were Masla's friends from the Death Patrol began to become more prominent in Stockholm. These including Shobra, Talang, Musa, and Makalele, who were all close friends of Masla and became...
What type of names are these? What?
These including Shobra, Talang, Musa, and Makalele.
Shubra, Talang, Musa, and Makalele. What type of names are these, bro? These gotta be like y'all real last names. These can't be like, yo, what's your name? Shobre. What's your name? Makalele. What's your name? Taglong. What's your name? Moose. Who makes these street names up?
Who were all close friends of Masla and became prominent under the Death Patrol name, all four of these members being in and out of jail in the months following July 2015, eventually all being out in 2016, subsequently resulting...
So you telling me they got locked up for a year? They got locked up for not even a year. Niggas got booked in July and then came out in 2016. What?
And the beef being quiet for a few months. In 2016, members from the Shottaz gang began to release music, a prime example being Yasin, who released a track titled My Hood, this currently sitting on around 8 million views. He then followed this release up with a track featuring JB, or Jafar Bin, who is affiliated with Shottaz, as well as ZE. Within this song, JB can be heard mentioning the area he was from, this being Rinkeby, which was basically split into two parts that violently beefed one another. This song also sitting on around 8 million views. Shortly after the release of these tracks, however, the core members of the Death Patrol gang would return from prison, leading to the end of 2016 and 2017 being one of the deadliest times in Rinkeby, which is crazy, as Rinkeby only had a population of around 19,000 in 2016. On the 2nd of December 2016, a member of the Shottaz gang, known as Indiana, as well as his brother, Smokey, who had supposedly come to the area for a few days and wasn't directly involved in the gang politics within Rinkeby. Anyways, the pair would be in a cafe in Rinkeby at around 10 p.m. Two masked Death Patrol members then approached the cafe after noticing Indiana and his brother. The attackers began to let off shots toward both Indiana and Smokey, who both ran into a washing room within the cafe, sadly getting trapped. This being when the attackers got closer and shot both Indiana and Smokey dead, with it even being believed that Smokey didn't have any affiliation.
What did his brother, bro? What did his cousin do? Bro, they literally, bro, his cousin had no affiliation, bro. Niggas just said, oh, you with him? Alright, we finna kill dude. Hold on, you with him? Alright, bet, it's over. It's over. You with him? You with him, it's over. It's over. That's basically what they saying. It's over for you. Crazy, man. Sorry, chat. I had to pull up my Twitch chat. Hold on. Alright. Am I still live on Twitch? Hold on, Chad.
Affiliation to the Shottaz and DP feud, but was with his brother. An investigation was then launched, although police would fail to turn up conclusive evidence. This double murder has remained unsolved. Rest in peace, both Indiana and Smokey. Just weeks after this double murder, on the 13th of December 2016, members of the Shottaz would retaliate, noticing a core member of the Death Patrol gang known as Musa, shooting him.
Oh, snap. So the Death Patrol went out looking for somebody, got Oh, that's crazy. They got a 2-for-1.
Has remained unsolved. Rest in peace, both Indiana and Smokey. Just weeks after this double murder on the 13th of December 2016, members of the Shottaz would retaliate, noticing a core member of the Death Patrol gang known as Musa, shooting him whilst he was sitting in a car. Musa was hit 4 times, however survived as he was actually wearing a bulletproof vest, which is crazy to think about. Police arrived on the scene and discovered the car Musa was in, riddled with bullets, as well as 2 AK-47s. Weeks after this shooting, at the start of 2000,
Hey, yo, imagine. Yo. Yo, you in a car, you just got shot, you trying to breathe, cops come to the scene. You don't even got enough time to leave, bro. You the victim, now you going to jail for 2 guns. Crazy. And not even 2 pistols. You go away for 2 AK-47s you just had laying around in your car. Crazy.
17, a man rumored to be linked with the Death Patrol gang is shot dead in Rinkeby, with it being believed that he was lying in the street, suffering gunshot wounds to the head. Rest in peace. Now, 2017 was actually the start of the rise of the drill scene coming out of Stockholm, with rappers like Yasin releasing the track, which translates to stack. Within this song, he mentioned that him and others only step when they are strapped.
Our motto is stay strapped, I'm used to beef. Okay, F peace.
Meaning they only go outside whilst being armed with guns for protection. Jafar Bin, who like Yasin also started to affiliate with the Shottaz, released a track titled Cash Machines with rappers Rigo and A-Key, this track amassing 1.5 million views, really showing that both Jafar Bin and Yasin were the most popping rappers in Stockholm. However, due to them affiliating with the Shottaz, in 2017 they would find themselves in the middle of Rinkeby's deadly gang war. On the 8th of August 2017, rapper Jafar Bin, who had started to associate himself with the Shottaz, would be noticed by 3 members of the Death Patrol gang. Jafar was then run up on by the rivals, and was punched, kicked, and was recorded. With this recording going viral on social media, the Death Patrol members then urinated on Jafar's face, all on
Huh? You peed on the dude's face? What? Gang criminals urinated on the face of well-known rap artist. The district court, wow, mitigates the penalty. Wow.
recording, which is wild. Within the video, they can be heard shouting disrespectful things toward him. However, luckily Jafar would make it out with his life. It's rumored that following this attack, Yasin would also be run up on by a feared Death Patrol member known as Makalele, being beaten up badly, but luckily also making it out with his life. Following this, however, the police would be closely watching the core members of the Death Patrol, waiting for them to slip up so they could be arrested in an unrelated murder for contract plot that involved multiple Death Patrol members. Now, before I continue, in order to give some context to the sentence received by some of Sweden's most feared gang members, Sweden actually has a different approach to offenders. They believe in changing the prisoners for the better, rather than punishing them, resulting in Sweden having one of the lowest reoffending rates. This factor then means that some people can get sentenced
Hold
to
on, what'd it say?
in Sweden having one of the lowest reoffending rates. This factor then means
Only about 20% of those released in Sweden reoffend within 2 years, while nearly half of those released in the United States reoffend within the same period. All right, so what are you trying to say? Like, I think a lot of people don't understand about the USA is like, when you commit a certain crime in the USA, you can't get a job. Like, if you like go out and rob someone, you're not be able to get a job at a store or at a gas station, because when they see you rob something, the first thing that they do is say, "Oh, you could rob me," and then they're not gonna hire you. If you are someone who went to jail and then became a chef in jail and then try to become a chef outside of jail, you're not gonna do anything, because depending on your charges, you're not gonna get a job. Like I'm saying, most states in America, if you a criminal, no matter how low the charges, no matter how high the charges, it's very hard to get a job. There's only a few, like you could be like, some places might hire you as a dishwasher, some fast food restaurants might hire you, like, and then like you might be able to do some construction jobs or whatever. But that's like, you know what I mean? You're not gonna work for like the city or the town construction. Like, you're working for like private constructors that are looking for people that, you know what I mean, want to work, and they're paying you in cash. Like, you know what I mean? You're not really getting a real paycheck when you're a convict. You're getting paid in cash. You're getting paid like almost underneath the table. So it's like, it's hard to get a job you know what I mean, the USA after you committed a crime or get charged with committing a crime, because no job's gonna want to get you. And it's in Sweden, the way y'all law system is set up, it's if you go to jail, you get sent to jail, you get put in programs to help you change your ways or therapy and all this stuff. And then when you get out of jail, you can use what you learned in jail to go get a job and do all these things, right? So it's different in other countries where in the USA it's not like that at all. Even if you get your high school diploma, GED, whatever in jail, like that doesn't help you go get a job. It almost like lessens it because it just tells them like, all right, I wasn't able to do it in the real world, so when I went to jail, I actually focused up and did it. Like that doesn't like it doesn't help at all.
Means that some people can get sentenced to a few years for murder. In October 2017, however, a group of Death Patrol members were arrested in a suspected case that saw them killing for money. One of the arrested included DP member Shottaz, whose DNA was even found on the murder weapon. Despite this, there was still not enough information and evidence to charge the Death Patrol members, leading to them.
So you telling me you knew they was there, you got the evidence in hand, you got the fingerprint, you got one of them's fingerprints on the weapon, but that's still not enough evidence to charge them with the crime.
Being let free in 2018 after a not guilty trial, leading to the Death Patrol members continuing to wage war on the Shottaz gang. It's rumored that around this time, a younger subset from the Shottaz emerged, this being known as FLG, which is an acronym which translates to filterless guys, and is believed to contain some of the most dangerous younger gang members from the Shottaz. On the 23rd of October 2017, Masla's younger brother, Machiavelli, who was a member of the Death Patrol, would be noticed by a group of Shotters in Rinkeby. The Shottaz then retrieved an automatic rifle, shooting Machiavelli in the chest before fleeing seconds later. Machiavelli was then admitted to hospital and luckily survived as he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Just a few months following this, on New Year's Eve 2017, a Death Patrol member would be gunned down in Rinkeby, with his attackers fleeing and still being free even today. This then subsequently resulted in 2018 and 19 being extremely deadly years within the rivalry. On the 31st of December 2017, during the early hours of the morning, a Death Patrol member known as Karar would be sitting in a car garage within Rinkeby. Whilst in the garage, rival Shottaz.
I'm trying to figure, bro, this is like so much going on. Like, they probably listed already like, I'd say 7 murders. About 7 murders already. And we're 8 minutes into the video.
Shottaz members would notice him, arming themselves with guns and walking toward him. Karar was then shot 8 times by the rivals, sustaining wounds to the head, with police being called by bystanders. Upon arriving on the scene, emergency services tried to save his life. However, he was sadly pronounced dead. Around this time, the younger members of the Death Patrol began to plot out their revenge for their fallen friend Karar, and just 1 week later, the Death Patrol youngsters would find their revenge. On the 8th of January 2018, just a week following the death of Karar, an alleged Shottaz affiliate known as Hamza, or Peps, would be at a shopping center in Rinkeby. Whilst out, Hamza and a few friends went to a nearby pizza and kebab restaurant, where they planned to stay for a few hours. Whilst in the pizza and kebab restaurant, a younger 16-year-old member aligned with the younger Death Patrol gang would notice Hamza, this younger member being Shaki, who was armed and ready to kill. Shaki then entered the shop before retrieving his gun and shooting Hamza twice in the neck and head, killing him on the scene. Shaki then fled moments later. An investigation was launched, with police beginning to watch Shaki, who was later arrested after police felt they had enough evidence to convict him. Later in 2018, Shaki was found guilty of the murder and was given 3 years for it, later being released in
What? Hold on. Let's go back. Let's just go back and understand what he said. Hold on.
and kebab restaurant. A younger 16-year-old member aligned with the younger Death Patrol gang would notice Hamza, this younger member being Shaki, who was armed and ready to kill. Shaki then entered the shop before retrieving his gun and shooting Hamza twice in the neck and head, killing him on the scene. Shaki then fled moments later. An investigation was launched, with police beginning to watch Shaki, who was later arrested after police felt they had enough evidence to convict him. Later in 2018, Shaki was found guilty of the murder and was given 3 years for it, later being.
Let's talk. Hold on. So you knew it was him. You seen him go into the restaurant, make sure his target was there. Leave the restaurant, go grab the gun, come back, shoot dude in the head and the neck, run out. You traced him on cameras and everything. Realized it was him. Got enough evidence it was him. Charged him with the crime, and he got 3 years. Bro got 3 years for bro. Bro is out. Bro's been out for years now. Bro's been out for 4 years. Let's just think about that. Bro's been out for 4 years in a crime he did in 2018. Got 3 years for murder. Came out in 2021. He's been out for 4 years already.
Being released in 2021. Following this murder, in February 2018, a prominent figure within this war began to make music, this being Einar, who released a track titled Problems just a month after the death of Hamza. With this song currently sitting on around 230,000 views, Einar was actually associated with the Darlin Network, an organized crime group based around Darlin within Stockholm. However, he later became affiliated with the Death Patrol when his music career began to really take off. During 2018, the rapper associated with the Shottaz, known as Jafar, would have his phone tapped by police in Sweden, leading to his arrest, as he had confessed to multiple crimes including possession of firearms. Police then found guns belonging to him, as he had seemingly told someone on the phone about the exact location of a stash of guns, eventually being given 4 years.
In 2017, he was convicted to 4 years imprisonment for possession of weapons. He was released in October of 2020 after serving 3 years of his sentence. What is going on in... Bro, I'm about to move to Sweden, bro. I'm about to just do it at this point. Might as well. Like, we just get away with everything over there.
Shottaz associate and rapper Yasin, Hoy, and another member known as Faye would be stopped by police whilst having guns at a gas station, with the three taking off and fleeing the scene. Yasin managed to escape, throwing his gun away, which police then recovered. Yasin even went on to mock the police for not catching him when they could. However, after releasing a few music videos, Yasin would be arrested and charged for being in possession of firearms when escaping police, eventually going on to be sentenced to a few years for the incident. Now, remember how I said the younger Death Patrol members were the only members really out of jail in 2018? Well, in 2019, Makalele, who was a core member of the original Death Patrol gang, would be out, and often was sliding onto rival Shottaz in Rinkeby. However, in June 2019, Makalele, as well as other Death Patrol members, would find themselves on the other side of the law after killing two prominent members of the Shottaz in an entirely different country. In June 2019, 3 members of the Shottaz gang, including Faye, who was actually the manager of Yasin, along with 2 other members known as Gucci and Hoods, would travel to Copenhagen, Denmark. It's rumored the trio went to Denmark to discuss music with local rappers. But upon arriving, however, they learned that they had in fact been set up by Death Patrol member Makalele, as well as other Death Patrol members. The 3 were ambushed in Copenhagen and were shot at by Makalele, who was armed with automatic weapons. Both Faye, as well as Hoods, began to flee the scene, making it a few hundred feet before Faye was shot in the leg, falling to the ground and bleeding out, sadly dying seconds later. Hoods then went on to flee unharmed. The Death Patrol members weren't done there, however, and turned their attention to Gucci, who was shot over 12 times all over the body, sadly also dying on the scene. After killing 2 Shottaz members, the Death Patrol members fled the scene, being seen on CCTV driving away from the scene, leading to another murder investigation being launched. The car
Bro, so they left Sweden, went to Denmark, killed 2 people, shot one of them 12 times. One got hit in the leg. Bro, what? What is going on in Sweden, bro? Y'all supposed to be top 3 most safest countries. Yo, bro, there's like 15,000 murders going on, bro. Niggas say there's only 53 people that was murdered. Bro, there's like 15 that you just named already. Yo, what's good, chat? What's good, G-Lo? Big Mod in the building. What's up with y'all?
Used in the double murder was later found, with it being believed that the assailants attempted to set it on fire, but closed the door, leading to the fire being extinguished. A few days later, Danish police raided an apartment in Aarhus, which is another city in Denmark. In the apartment, Makalele was arrested. Following this, the other attackers were extradited from Sweden to Denmark.
Four of the men were arrested soon after in Sweden. The 5th in Denmark. They all denied that they were involved and said they would appeal against the verdict
in order to face the charges. As remember, the crime was committed in Denmark, not Sweden, so chances are they would receive a way harsher punishment. This proved to be right, as in 2020, Makalele, as well as the other members, were given life sentences for the double murder. Rest in peace, both Faye and
3 Swedish men jailed for life over a double gang murder.
Gucci. Now, following this double murder, Einar, who I spoke about earlier, would be making a serious noise within the Swedish drill scene, releasing tracks like The Cat in the Hood, which was released in January 2019, and quickly built a buzz in Sweden, garnering around 13 million views. He then dropped a track titled Cheating, featuring a rapper known as K27, this sitting on just over 5.5 million views, just proving that Einar was really taking over the scene. In November 2019, Yasin was released from prison following that 2018 arrest and sentencing. Perhaps following his release, Yasin realized he had to make it big in the Swedish drill scene, as following his release in December 2019, he dropped the track titled DSGIS, which sits on over 20 million Spotify streams. He followed this up a few weeks later with a track titled XO, this garnering around 40 million streams. And from an outside in, it looked as if Yasin had really made it out of the streets. However, what fans didn't know was that he was still really deeply entrenched in the gang politics in Rinkeby. In December 2019, a friend of Yasin's and fellow Shottaz member, known as Poi, would be found in his car in a car park within Rinkeby, suffering multiple gunshot wounds all over his body. Emergency services quickly arrived on the scene and did their best at saving him. However, sadly, he was pronounced dead minutes after being taken to hospital. The police in Stockholm went on to arrest multiple people, and what drill fans weren't expecting is that Yasin himself would be arrested in a car for the murder of his friend Poi. Yasin wasn't the only one arrested, and multiple other Shottaz gang members.
Several of his best friends with connections to Rinkeby gang Shottaz have been in custody but have been released.
Were apprehended hours following the murder, with a large investigation taking place. Yasin was even found to have gunshot residue on him. Following a full trial, however, in 2020, Yasin and the other Shottaz members were released due to a lack of evidence to find anyone involved guilty, with the Shottaz as well as Yasin being back on the streets of Rinkeby. Rest in peace, Poi. Now, remember how I said Einar was blowing in the Swedish drill scene? Well, going into 2020, he had managed to gain himself a few enemies from opposing gangs. These enemies then planning to find Einar in the streets, plotting out an attack on him. It was actually Einar's old friends from the Darlin network that would do this. This, of course, being the rapper Haval, who was at one point Einar's friend. And on the 15th of April 2020, Einar was lured unsuspectingly to an apartment where his rivals were waiting. On the 15th of April 2020, Einar would be lured into a car by the rapper Haval, as well as the leader of the Darlin network. Einar was then driven to an apartment in Stockholm. After a few minutes of driving, the gang members reached the agreed destination with Einar, who was unaware he was walking into a trap laid out for him. When arriving at the destination, Einar was held captive and was punched, kicked, and was told to dress up in women's clothing, as well as to drink out of a dog bowl. All of this being recorded and pictured. Einar was then robbed of his chains and guns, and was let free hours later, luckily making it out alive. The videos and pictures of Einar being humiliated would later be released in May 2020. However, this didn't really affect his music career, as he was consistently doing millions on every song he released, even releasing a song with Haval, who had allegedly set him up only a day after Einar was kidnapped and was humiliated. Haval and other gang members were then later arrested and charged in connection. Following this, in May 2020, Einar responded to the kidnapping on an Instagram live. Just a few months following the kidnapping, Haval's little brother was shot and killed in Stockholm, with Einar being the #1 suspect, even releasing a song that hinted toward his involvement in the murder. In August 2000,
The get back in this Swedish crime story right now is crazy, bro. The get back is crazy.
2021, two FLG members, who were younger Shottaz gang members, were fed information that DP members were in an apartment in Hulsta. The two FLG members then set out on electric scooters toward the apartment. The Death Patrol members knew that the FLG members were coming, however, and waited on a balcony for their arrival. Upon arriving, the two FLG members were shot multiple times. A 26-year-old died seconds after being hit, whilst a separate 22-year-old was taken to hospital, where he luckily survived. This 22-year-old was later arrested and charged, as he had come to the apartment armed with a gun and had intentions on killing the rival Death Patrol members. Rest in peace. In September 2021, Einar released a track titled Dance, this currently sitting on around 36 million views. Just a month later, in October 2021, he released a song that roughly translates to Stuck in the Hood, this amassing just over 16 million streams, really showing how prominent Einar was in the scene. It is rumored that police wanted Einar to cooperate in the case in which he was kidnapped, although Einar refused, eventually allegedly being forced to by police on the 21st of October 2021. Sadly, however, only a few hours later, Einar would be shot dead by rival gang members. On the 20th,
He was being forced to snitch or cooperate? Wait, what?
wanted Einar to cooperate in the case in which he was kidnapped, although Einar refused, eventually allegedly being forced to by police on the 21st of October 2021. Sadly, however, only a few hours later, Einar would be shot dead by rival gang members. On the 21st of October 2021, Einar would be hanging with two others in a relatively wealthy area in Stockholm. The trio were allegedly out for a smoke session before returning to Einar's home. Suddenly, however, two masked gunmen approached Einar before shooting multiple times toward him. Both friends would flee after the shooting. Sadly, Einar was hit multiple times all over the body, dying on the scene, with some even taking pictures of his dead body after he had been shot. With it being believed that Einar had money on his head, many theories surround the death of Einar, with some believing he was set up, whilst others have differing opinions. His killers, however, are yet to be arrested and charged. Either way, rest in peace, Einar. One of the people allegedly arrested in connection to the murder of Einar was his friend Dumla, who was even with him the night he was shot. Dumla was eventually released under investigation, but later in 2022, he was also shot dead. Rest in peace, Dumla. As of most recently, Shaki, who was that younger Death Patrol member who served time for killing a Shottaz affiliate known as Hamza, would release a track, which roughly translates to The Scorers. This track is filled with disrespectful lyrics. Within this, Shaki says that he is willing to go back to jail and risk life imprisonment, as well as stating that he was 16 years old and putting in more work than his ops. As remember, Shaki was only 16 when he caught the murder case. In May 2024, Shaki followed this track up with another song titled Prime Time. Within this, Shaki mentioned that he was smoking Peps Pure, without any mixture, Peps or Hamza being the dead rival that Shaki was sentenced for killing. It's since believed that both Yasin and Haval have moved away from Stockholm and are focusing on their rap career elsewhere, which is always positive, as both rappers were raking in millions of views on almost every song they released, and staying in Sweden would have only resulted in them either dying or going to jail. Now, since the murder of Dumla, not many other public incidents have occurred within the streets. If you have learned anything from this video, however, make sure that it is to stay out of the streets, as this gang lifestyle that you see these rappers living often only leads to jail or death. Example being Einar, who didn't distance himself from the gangs in Stockholm, and by the time he realized he should have, it was too late. Oftentimes these rappers have lost most of the people around them to the gang life. My thoughts, prayers, and condolences are with the family and friends of anyone discussed within this video. Rest in peace. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. As I said at the start of the video, only 5% of people are subscribed.
Hey man, thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, man, like, comment, subscribe, and share a friend, share a girlfriend. Let's grow the community up. And we'll put all my social down in the description down below. Sorry for my words, man. I appreciate y'all for watching the video. And let's check y'all out soon. Peace.
I put the new 4Gs on the G. I tap it till the letter bottoms underneath. That's how my homies got it out the street.